Okay, good morning. This is Pat Deere, and I am a relationship marketing expert. And one of my goals was to work on my goals of hope, healing, and happiness, I guess you could say. And one of the ways that I decided to do that was to use some of the LinkedIn connections that I've been meeting with, because they have some wonderful stories that they could share. And it's their stories of hope, healing, and happiness. So my first interview this morning is with Tisha Hammond, and I met Tisha a couple of weeks ago, and we just kind of connected. She's a small business cheerleader. I'm going to let her tell more about who she is. But what we're going to do today is just let her share her story of hope, healing, and happiness. Tell me something that she does consistently in her life that helps her, because that's something that I need to know for myself. So we're just going to go ahead and get into it. And good morning, Tisha.
Good morning, Pat. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited that it's you. And I don't know what it was about you and I that connected, but I just felt really strongly that there was more about you that I wanted to know. So first of all, just share a little bit about who you are, what you do for a business and that sort of thing.
All right, I appreciate it. So I am the head cheerleader at Ascent Small Business Promotion LLC. It's based in Northville, Michigan. And I have the honor of traveling around the country, maybe one day the world, but for now, traveling around the country, just sharing stories and trainings about economic empowerment and how to really reinvest and reinvigorate our communities so that we can create jobs, we can hire people. It's great to be self-employed, and I always want people to start businesses in the communities where they are. It's great to be self-employed, but there's nothing quite like being the employer and hiring your own employees and really changing the face of your community that way.
I love that. We could talk forever about that one. We're self-employed ourselves, so I totally understand. So if you don't mind, let's just go ahead and get into the first question that I have is, again, we live in an environment of pretty negative things going on right now. So I really like to hear where people see hope. Where do you see hope? And it could be, worldwide. It could be just yourself personally.
Okay. It's a pretty general response, and then I'll try to drill down. But I still see hope in people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that just believe we were created. We didn't just happen upon one another. We have a purpose, and we're amazing. And some of us suck, and some of us are not so sucky. But no matter how dark a person's character is, I still believe that there is light lying in wait in that person, and that it's okay to wait on that person. I've learned to wait. And in fact, I trust the wait. I trust having to be patient with someone, because I believe that light is going to come out of that person and show itself off. And I still believe people will do amazing things, even though we are clearly in really dark times here.
This is exactly what attracted me to you, because I believe the same thing. And sometimes I feel like people around me think that I'm that glass way over full, and I don't see the reality of life. But I do see the reality of life, but I choose to see the goodness first and to focus on that. So that was a really cool, cool observation. So going along with that, we all go through tough times too. So I know for myself, this last year, I walked 500 miles on the Appalachian Trail to find healing that I needed. Now, not everybody has to do that, but what do you do when you need to find healing in your life?
Well, I can tell you, I've had to have my share of healing also. For me, 2014 was an incredibly low point. That came with about 26 deaths in families between my husband and mine, including 3 of our siblings, a
Oh my
nephew,
gosh.
and just too many people to name. And I had to rely on my faith. I mean, I had to dig deep and really remember that I believe that Jesus Christ saves and heals. And even with all my aches and pains, and sometimes the healing is not because of life or death matters. It's, your body hurts or you're addicted to something. And even in all my aches, my woes, my pains, my moral injuries that I carry around, and some of the addictions that I, all of those things lose their strength and power when I say the name Jesus. So how I find healing, I honestly tend to like stomp my right foot. It does something to change my thought process. And I say the word Jesus. And it honestly reminds me that there's something bigger out there than me. And there are plenty of things I don't have control over. And sometimes my health and my healing are those things. And I have to lean on him to make me whole. And that's what healing is, being made whole. I find that in Jesus Christ.
You know, that's every time you talk, I think of so many more things that we could say, but I try to keep this to 10 minutes. So we'll have to have conversation down the road. You know, but I love that stomping your right foot at the same time that you're saying what is so important and empowering to you. It's that physical along with, you know, the emotional and the verbal and everything that brings it all together. And I had a lot of loss also in 2014, not nearly what you did. So hearing, you know, other people will have gone through things and they make it through the other side as well with a positive attitude and still a willingness to in a zest for life, you know, that's really important. So so the happiness, you know, that's a wide open question, but you know, what do you do to find happiness?
Okay, we got to thank my mom for this one, because my mom is the epitome of a happy person. And that is all I've ever known her to be, even though I've seen things that would clearly make a reasonable person very unhappy and take them to a very dark place. So my happy places, the things that make me happy, revolve around family and home. So when my family, our home, and all of our moving parts are functioning in sync, I am happy. My attitude is pleasant. I'm fun to be around. And I've always wanted a home and prayed for a home that I didn't necessarily have to leave to go and enjoy things. I wanted to be able to enjoy stuff right there in the home. And we've been able to create that. So that's one. Might I give you 3 answers for this one?
Sure.
Okay. When someone asked me the other day, am I aligned with my purpose? And my answer was, I'm so aligned that I might as well be a chiropractor. Because I actually, thank God, know what I'm here to do. I know why I wake up in the morning. I know what I'm supposed to accomplish by the end of my day or a week. And that doesn't change for me. Some things get added, but the core of who I am and what I'm supposed to do doesn't change. Knowing what I'm supposed to do and what actions I'm supposed to take makes me happy, because I don't have to wonder anymore, right? And then I was one of those people, I think I was just born to be on stage. I was born to have a microphone. I was born to have a platform. I'm not afraid to use my voice. I will share the message that I'm here to share. And so for me, being on stage, whether it's acting or performing, or whether I'm preaching or ministering, or whether I'm using my business function and speaking about economic empowerment, the stage brings me great joy.
You know, I love too what you were talking about, your second one about being exactly who you are. You know, when I was going to these workshops and they were asking us to dig down, who are you? And it was this hope, healing, and happiness. And I was thinking about, what does that have to do with business? What does it have to do with anything? And I found out it has everything to do with it, just like exactly what you're talking about, because that's who I am. And, you know, I truly believe that if you live who you are, you know, that is where success comes from, whether it's personally or in business or whatever.
You don't have to fake it. I mean, it's just genuine and natural, and it feels good. It's good.
Exactly. So the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is to tell me, what is one thing that you do consistently that helps you, whether it's in personal or business, and maybe it's both?
Absolutely. So I put on one thing every day, the same thing every day, and that is a great attitude. Not just a good one. I try to present a great attitude in the face of most circumstances. So I get up in the morning. it starts with literally in my mind, I've said, thank you, Lord. I recognize I didn't wake myself up today. I recognize the alarm clock didn't wake me up today. I have something to fulfill. I have something to complete. I have a family to take care of. I have a career to go to. I have a business to build. I have friends to meet up with. And I'm happy about all those things. And choosing to have a good attitude has taken me much farther than choosing to have a poor attitude and a poor outlook on the situation. Now, I'm not naive. Yes, I wake up. Some days I'm in pain. Some days are far better than the others. But I have a choice at how I'm going to see that and what my perspective is going to be. And I recognize that attitude carries into my mannerisms. It infiltrates every conversation and thought that I have. And I choose to just be thankful and grateful. So I put on a good attitude every day, even when I don't want to. And sometimes I don't want to, but it's not about me. There are too many people out there to impact with a smile and to change the course of someone's day just by being kind and nice. And I think we're all supposed to do this, but I actually take great joy in wearing that uniform of a great attitude every day. Another kudos to my mom. That's where I get that kind of thought from. And it carries right on over into an attitude and a lifestyle of optimism. We started out this conversation talking about optimism, and we're realistic, but we're choosing to see the brighter side of things. And yeah, what's wrong with the glass being half full? There's nothing wrong with that. And so I don't apologize for being bubbly and being happy and being charismatic as often as I can. It's a blessing. I take full advantage of it.
I'm so glad that last question was something that I just kind of added on at the last minute. And I'm so glad I did, because I think I can learn so much from everybody that I'm going to be interviewing, and what they do consistently in their life. And honestly, I never even thought about the attitude thing. I think that's something that I do as well, but it isn't something that even came to my mind. So why don't we end this, if you don't mind? I'd love for you to share maybe just how people can contact you.
Absolutely. So my email is tishah@fromlaunchtoascent.com. LinkedIn is a fabulous way to connect with me. And I am Tisha Hammond, the small business cheerleader on LinkedIn. And thank you for just allowing me to be here with you this